It's a bit tasty here at Tynecastle. Tottenham Hotspurs, the visitors, they take on the Jam Tarts here tonight. The first leg of a Europa League playoff for the right to make the group stage. To call this one for us tonight, the former Rangers and England midfielder, Trevor Steven. And first, as always, a very good evening to Clive Tilsley.
Thank you, Matt. Good evening, everybody. With the best will in the world, there was no way that Tottenham Hotspur were ever going to be allowed to take this one lightly. Not in Scotland, not at Tynecastle, one of the most atmospheric settings in Scottish football. Manchester United will have to wait. Spurs have serious business to look after here first. Heart of Midlothian, we'll see to that. Festival time in Edinburgh. Entertainment, drama, comedy maybe. What kind of show will we get tonight? Tottenham Hotspur kicking off their season. And Trevor Steven, who's had experience of playing at Tynecastle for Rangers. Spurs will know they're in a game tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Clive. It's a really intimidating atmosphere here. And it'll take a little while for the Spurs players to get used to it. But they're very experienced professionals. I expect them to adapt pretty quickly. But it is a terrific atmosphere, no doubt.
Captain Dawson looking for Bale. Cut out by Hamill. Here's big John Sutton. Outnumbered. Unable to control it initially. Ooh, with a little bit of time. Rafael Vaart looking to get Bale on his way beyond Hamill. Defoe and Lennon are waiting in the centre, and Bale has overrun it.
See already the threat that Gareth Bale's going to cause to Hamill down that left-hand side. Spurs going forward.
Crunchart. Combination with Bale. Broken up by Morovic, the pole at the heart of the Hearts midfield. This is Asur Cotto, though, playing 1-2 off the Italian referee, and then finding Lennon. And he in turn finds Templeton, sharp challenge by Walker. This might come for Bale, and he's onside. Away by Webster, and a chance for Driver to drive Hearts forward. Black. Hamill. Sutton beat to it in the air by Kabul.
Well, Hearts want to get themselves on the front foot. John Sutton is the release ball for Hearts. Just needs support from Stevenson, particularly from midfield.
Harry can't sit there, apparently. Ranger. A bit of time for Walker. And he finds Defoe. So too does Black. Defoe resists the challenge, links up with Van der Vaart. Now Kyle Walker. Tottenham didn't train at Tynecastle last night. Didn't have a chance to have a look round, and Harry can't see properly from the seat he's been given. Crunchart linking with Van der Vaart. No room at the inn for Tottenham Hotspur. It's the busiest 3 weeks of the year in Edinburgh. No hotel space after the draw had been made. They've been staying in real five-star luxury at the Old Course Hotel overlooking the famous 17th hole at St Andrews, but it has meant quite a long drive down for them today. How long will that have taken, Trevor?
Roughly an hour, I suppose. It's probably more than they would like to have done, that's for sure. As you say, Edinburgh is brimming full just now with the festival.
Hearts manager is Paulo Sergio, 16 days in charge. Succeeded a club legend, Jim Jeffries, 3 games into the season, with instructions to change the team's style as well as their results. Black, who is feisty, is in the midst of a domestic suspension at the moment.
Yeah, Ian Black is pretty crucial, I think, to what Hearts do tonight. You've got to win the ball back from Spurs, who already look very comfortable in control of the ball. And one of his jobs is to get it back for Hearts.
Defoe. Van der Vaart. Defoe. It's come for Van der Vaart again. Zaljukas couldn't clear. It's Rafael Van der Vaart, and Tottenham have the early lead at Tynecastle. Ball run kindly for Rafael Van der Vaart, and he made the most of his good fortune to calmly slot it home, and Spurs have an away goal inside of 5 minutes.
Well, Harry Redknapp will be delighted. Spurs have been on the front foot from the first whistle. Hart's not been able to take the game to Spurs at all. Good interplay. Defoe and Van der Vaart gets a bit lucky here, but it's scrappy from Hart's, and it's a good finish. You see Van der Vaart, when he gets into that kind of position, very, very relaxed, very, very calm. There he gets a little bit of luck.
Appeals for handball there, but
Perhaps.
it was driven hard against him.
I think so, possibly. Difficult one for the referee to call. There you go. Works his way in the end, slots it away, and great start for Tottenham.
Zaljukas had 2 opportunities to clear. The second of them certainly propelled the ball against the arm of Rafael Van der Vaart, but at point-blank range, I don't see that that could have been interpreted as deliberate in any way. And the ball fell kindly for the Dutch international to give Spurs the edge.
They have been looking in control though, Clive, haven't they? They've not really been pressed too much by Hart so far. The problem the Hearts have got is getting a hold of the ball.
Here's Kyle Walker. Just clipped by Templeton. He wants to be carrying the ball at Walker down the other end of the field, David Templeton, but he's having to see out his defensive duties at the moment.
George Burley highlighted Templeton just before the game. If you can get on it, get on the ball, it's very, very tricky, very confident. Andrew Driver, very much the same on the other side of the field. And those 2 players are really very much of the strength of Hearts going forward.
But they need the ball. And here's Cranchar, losing out to Mrovic. On by Sutton, now Driver, held up by Asuakota. This is Stevenson. See Andy Webster back at the heart of the Hearts defence. His season prior to tonight lasted just 8 minutes into the opening game at Ibrox. He has had his injury problems. He is so important to Hearts. Van der Vaart almost bulldozed between the 2 centre-backs. And with the help of a ricochet, scored the opening goal. And here's Walker. Lennon. Cruncher. Accurately picking out Bale. Hamel across.
Well, it's a lovely switch of play there from Nico Cranchar. Brings Gareth Bale into the game. He always feels he's got a chance of being in the game as well, Gareth Bale, when you've got passers like Cranchar.
This is Defoe trying to tiptoe through the challenges. Black got to him. Brought out by Zaljukas. It's good work that by Defoe. Just unable to release Van der Vaart. The Hearts really haven't got started yet.
Well, they've got all this backing as well. Fantastic support here at Tynecastle. Can't really get much possession in the Spurs half just now.
Granger. Sutton on the move. Gonna throw in. Had 3 years at Spurs as a youngster. John Sutton just didn't quite crack it. He said he knew it was time to move on when Les Ferdinand and Sergei Rebrov were ahead of him in the reserve team at Tottenham. Granger with a throw. Well met by Kabul. Stevenson. Spurs have been well primed as to what to expect this evening. They've been competitive from the outset. 6 competitive games into a season which began nearly a month ago. Spurs season starting here tonight. I have to say that Hearts win over Aberdeen here on Saturday was their first in the SPL since mid-March. A run that almost cost them third place in the closing weeks of last season and did ultimately cost Jim Jeffries his job as his successor. Suakoto seemed to be looking for the ball to run out. The driver made sure he couldn't do that. Beautiful control from Van der Vaart and from Cranchar. Black getting stuck in again. This is Lennon. Walker. Van der Vaart.
There's that release ball again. This time to Asuakoto.
Relay football from Tottenham Hotspur. Van der Vaart. They're away by Zaljukas. Mistake there by Morobiec. So a little bit tense back there. Hearts haven't retained the ball anything like well enough as yet.
Well, Harry Redknapp's had the perfect start. He would have liked to get his noses ahead in the early stages of the game, just quieten the crowd down. That's exactly what his team have done for him.
Van der Vaart, the goal scorer, finds only Sutton. And there was a foul there by Jake Livermore on John Sutton. Time last year, Spurs almost came unstuck in the playoff round of the Champions League, trailed Young Boys 3-0 after half an hour in the first leg in Bern. Sutton with a rather wild shot, but that adventure, which went on to the San Siro twice and to the Bernabeu, began there. Tonight they've started their European campaign far more emphatically.
Glimmer of hope there for Hearts. John Sutton, not renowned for his long-range shooting. Very competitive in the penalty area.
Got his first Hearts goals at the weekend in the 3-0 win over Motherwell here. Defoe. Cranchar. It's interesting that Harry Redknapp was saying prior to the game that Cranchar isn't really a central midfield player. I don't think that's the way that Nico Cranchar would see it. He'll feel that he has the range of passes to control things in the heart of midfield, but then, Trevor, all wide midfield players want to be central midfield players.
Yeah, even in my day.
Templeton unable to get into the game as yet. Defoe to Van der Vaart, who's at the heart of the game. Lennon trying his luck on the left. Van der Vaart. Lennon whipped into Defoe, beautifully played and beautifully finished. Class from Tottenham Hotspur. Jermain Defoe tucks away their second goal. They were 3 down in Switzerland a year ago. In half an hour, they are 2 up in 13 minutes here in Scotland tonight.
Well, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant goal. Started by Aaron Lennon. Wide on the left-hand side, cuts in, doing everything with pace. Van der Vaart again involved. Wonderful ball from Lennon through to Defoe, and you don't expect anything else when he gets into that position. Van der Vaart linking up again. Oh, what a terrific ball. First touch was great, second, ball's in the net.
I'm not sure there is a more natural finisher available to Fabio Capello than Jermain Defoe. His tally in the Premier League last season was miserably low by his standards, but Harry Redknapp has already said he's expecting a big season from Defoe. He's had a big start from his team tonight.
Oh, very worrying for Hearts. Where do they go from here? Try and get back into the game. They haven't looked like a goal threat. And to push too many bodies forward, it's only going to make them more vulnerable at the back.
Got to try and get the crowd involved in the game again, because the voices we can hear inside Tynecastle at the moment are Tottenham voices. You're supposed to be at home is the chant.
The pattern of the game is as it was when the game started. Tottenham in possession in the Hearts half, Van der Vaart very much at the heart of it.
Some lovely passing from Tottenham on a lovely service, I have to say. Tynecastle, there's a picture. This is Driver. Now Hamill. Driver's managed to find Stevenson. And he's managed to find some space. Poor interception that by Walker, with Templeton waiting.
They read it well. Templeton gets onto the ball in those kind of areas, can be dangerous.
Black. Sutton beaten to it by Kabul. Bale suddenly carries the ball 30, 40 yards forward in what seems like 20 strides. His acceleration, he thought he won a corner there, and it's quite something to behold.
Yeah, he's so quick. You can see what he's going to do, and he knows, the defender knows that he's just going to run straight down the line. But he's quite happy and prepared to take it on. Believes in his pace.
Quick with the ball, Trevor, yeah.
Yeah, very, very quick with the ball. I love watching him, actually. I mean, he's so graceful to watch. He runs so well with it. And he's got the end ball as well, or he's got a goal at the end of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing if Gareth Bale can get to those heights that he did last season.
He says he's fully fit, which is the key really for Spurs. Defoe to Livermore. Now Lennon.
Spurs being patient. Hart sitting back. Tottenham in no great rush to get forward.
Asuakoto has released Bale. It's a dangerous driven ball between goalkeeper and defenders, but nobody in white could quite catch up with it.
Pace in the flanks like Bale and Aaron Lennon. That ball's always on. This is 4-4-2. Nicely timed run. Good delivery of the pass. And what a cross that was.
His season was ended prematurely by a rather loose Charlie Adam tackle at White Hart Lane in May, but it was the back problems that he had earlier in the year which really put the brakes on Gareth Bale's season. I think he himself was concerned that no real solution was being found to that problem, but he's rested and fresh now. Ball run by Hamill, but Zaliukas can't quite link up with him.
The worry that Tottenham had coming into this game is the lack of competitive matches behind them. It seems to have worked in their favour. Very fresh looking. Plenty of confidence about the team too.
It's been worth a trip so far. The Tottenham fans who've seen Van der Vaart and Defoe score in the opening quarter of an hour of the game. Well, won by Walker. Lennon. Cranchard. Livermore trying to resist the attentions of Black and doing so very strongly. There's plenty of Jake Livermore. Only his second ever start for Tottenham, and his first ended at half-time in a rather painful Carling Cup defeat to Arsenal a year ago. He's been out on loan at Ipswich and Leeds since then. Big chance for him tonight in the absence of the likes of Modric and Sandro and Pinar, Genus from that area of the field.
He's not going to get many opportunities, is he, Jake Livermore? And when you do get one, you've got to take it with both hands. Looks very comfortable in the midfield alongside Nico Cranchard.
Spurs looking comfortable to a man, in control. Cranchard to Van der Vaart. And again, cut out by Mrovic. Here's Driver. Unable to link up with Sutton. He's unable to string more than a couple of passes together at the moment, the men in maroon. Livermore finding Van der Vaart. He's finding space all over the place. Now Livermore to Defoe. And now Van der Vaart. And now it's Bale's turn. Well, he can score from that kind of range and angle, we know that.
Well, Callow very concerned about what he's seeing in front of him. Well, Tottenham can literally pick and choose how they get forward on both sides. Very worrying for Hearts, I have to say.
And 3 white shirts in the box if Bale had lifted his head.
Well, I think 20 minutes gone in the game, and how many times has he been forward on that left-hand side already? Hearts struggling to cope with his abilities.
The referee was well placed, he waved that away before giving a free kick for a foul on Ian Black. Chance there just to toss the ball into the edge of the penalty area, which Hearts didn't take. They tried to play their way into an advanced position. Granger looking to kick the ball forward. It's fallen for Driver. Italian referee got in the way. Nothing going Hearts' way. Bale coming their way again. Just took on one too many. Sound defending by Dorsal.
Slightly brighter for Hearts there, a bit more possession. But, is there going to be an end product? Doesn't look that way. Spurs looking very solid in defence, led by Michael Dawson.
Stayed by Livermore though. Busy run from Templeton, well, that's what he can do. Stretching Kyle Walker, winning a corner.
Yeah, he's not short on pace or confidence, David Templeton. And this is the kind of opportunity now that Hearts need to take advantage of. Prepared to go all the way. Kyle Walker is a quickie as well.
So Lucas and Webster forward. Size, it's played short. Hamill tosses it in towards Andy Webster. Knocked out of harm's way by Van der Vaart. Spurs oozing confidence. So well worked. Cranchar, look at the run from Bale as well, that it was cut out by Zaliukas. Driver. Stepped away from Kabul, linked up with Templeton. Dawson in the way, might come for Stevenson. Cranchar played his part there. A little bit of pressure. First anxious clearance from Spurs. First sign of a few mistakes inside their own half. Hearts trying to turn up the temperature here. Granger finding Stevenson. The space for Driver if he can find him. Instead crossed in towards Sutton, whose run was blocked by Surakoto, and the cross came to nothing.
That kind of delivery is what John Sutton's looking for. Ryan Stevenson provides it from the left-hand side. It's the crossing a little bit too easy. That's a perfect ball for Sutton to attack. Surakoto does enough to block him.
Have you noticed a change in Hearts' style at all from Jeffrey's day? Are they playing through the field a little bit more?
There's not much change at all. It's very early days in the reign of Paulo Sergio. But what he's hoping for and looking for is teamwork, and there hasn't been a great deal of that. It looks a bit disjointed to me. Team got a good result at the weekend. We've not really had the time yet, Paulo Sergio, to put a stamp on this side.
He's been set the target of winning the Scottish Premier League by the owner, something that only 2 clubs have done since the inception of the Scottish Premier League in 1998. I don't think I need to tell you who they are. Last Scottish champions from outside Glasgow, Aberdeen, 1985. In fact, only Hearts have broken into the top two since '95. They were runners-up in 2006 from George Burley and Graham Ricks, among others. Here's Driver. Giving it straight to Cranchard. Now Defoe.
Got a lot of space, isn't he, Nico Cranchard in there? He can play the game at his own speed.
This one from Bale, but it might just run for Livermore. He'll settle for the corner kick, which is somewhat fortuitous.
No, certainly don't want to lose another one. And they do have a goal threat. Kabul Dawson, very, very good in the air if the delivery's right.
It's towards the head of Kabul. Taken away by Zaliukas. Now a chance for Driver to break out here. He's got Templeton and Stevenson with him, and Spurs are outnumbered. If the pass had been better, Asuakoto was the last man.
Just when a little bit of quality is required, also not being able to produce it. Andrew Driver just not finding his man with the pass. Ball breaks down again.
Asuakoto very quick to the ball. Was fouled there by Andrew Driver.
It was good work from Asuakoto. Sergio not too happy with it though.
Livermore. And Vaart. Now Cranchard. Defoe. Gets it back from Asuakoto. Vaart was there, but Rogic managed to cut it out. Templeton.
Really struggling to deal with Nico Cranchard's involvement in the game. No one's near him. Can dictate the play between him and Van der Vaart. Really everything's going Spurs' way.
Asuakoto finding Van der Vaart. Cleverly played. Livermore gets it back from Defoe. Oh, it's 3-0. Big moment for Jake Livermore. And just to complete the symmetry of a year ago, Tottenham Hotspur 3 down in Switzerland inside half an hour in their Champions League playoff first leg, are 3 up here in half an hour in the Europa League.
Oh, magical play again. It's incisive, it's quick, it's accurate, and most importantly, the finish is true and cool from Livermore. Look at the space that Van der Vaart gets once again. But this is good play, and the movement, Hearts can't deal with it. 3-0.
He's been with the club 5 years. He's from Tottenham country, from Enfield, Jake Livermore. He's been away on loan to 6 different clubs during that time. He's had to wait his moment to impress the Tottenham manager, but he's taken his chance. He's figured in the pre-season. He hasn't looked at all out of place in the side tonight, and he's kept his performance so far now with a goal. Spurs' 3rd of the evening.
Long, long night for Hearts and their supporters now. Tottenham so much in control of the game. Scoring some great goals, some quality goals as well, which will please Harry Redknapp very much.
Livermore strong again. Van der Vaart. Now Cranchard. Defoe. It's deflected behind for a corner kick. Spurs look like they're going to score in every attack.
Hearts have not been able to cope with the central midfield at all. It's Cranchar or it's Van der Vaart, you name it. It's one of the two. Defoe that time, getting the shot away but blocked.
Van der Vaart takes. Just can't get hold of the ball. Templeton and the header clear, but Spurs come again. Kabul, the centre-back, stepping through the challenges. Granger felt he was fouled. Well, he took over the coach as Sporting Lisbon this time last year. He was out of work by the end of February. "20 months is the record stay for a manager so far, under Vladimir Romanov. But there's a gulf here, which I suspect no Scottish club manager outside of Parkhead and Ibrox would be likely to be able to close. There is just a difference between the resources for the top English and top Scottish clubs, which it would take more than a Portuguese coach to solve.
Well, he must be thinking damage limitation, because a long way to go in this game. I think everybody recognises it, the gulf in quality. And Hearts' real chance tonight was to try and get themselves ahead early, and of course it was Tottenham to score the first goal.
And then the second, and then the third. And Vaart fairly stopped. Black, driver. Interesting to see the left footer on the right footer on the left, which seems to be the 21st century way. I bet you didn't like playing on the left, did you?
I was asked to play on the left several times and did so willingly. I do think it can work for you, if you're right-footed, playing on the left-hand side and come and get your shots away on goal. It's always a more difficult option to go down the outside of a full-back, more demanding.
That's well played by Kabul. There's something Spurs do from time to time. They'll switch Bale to the right. He's on the left at the moment, though, chasing Cranchar's pass, and Hearts are open again. This is Lennon. Space for Van der Vaart, just out of shot in towards Defoe! Like Wasabi, hit the crossbar, it wouldn't have counted. He was offside. But they're just not picking Van der Vaart up at all.
No, they need a rethink, total rethink at half-time. Still feels a long way to half-time, of course, but this is absolutely fantastic stuff. Look at Van der Vaart in the middle as well.
Well, the referee marking him.
Great effort, though, wasn't it, from Defoe? That's the kind of ball the striker wants. And Lennon does that with amazing regularity. Defoe will be disappointed.
Came back before all the other players for some extra fitness work. He actually went to France to work with a fitness coach, Jermain Defoe. Fringe player towards the end of last season for Spurs. Van der Vaart finding Defoe. Never frightened to shoot.
I think he suffered last year. His confidence level went down. Ball wasn't in the back of the net like he's used to. It's a fresh beginning for him this season. It's a good start already.
More live football next week on ITV. That's on ITV1, the second leg of Arsenal's Champions League playoff game in Italy against Udinese. ITV.com/football is the place to go to find details of all our upcoming football and plenty of more. Robic, driver lets it run. Stevenson looks for him. Strolling through the game.
The Hearts midfield players are marking space and not men, and it's given Cranchar and Van der Vaart so much time on the ball. Jake Livermore has even got lots of time in there as well.
Spurs have got Hearts exactly where they want them. Defoe's touch heavy, Blacklock ball back, Robic, driver. Webster's header far too close to Kello. Thankfully for Hearts, the Slovakian goalkeeper managed to prevent the corner.
It was one of those nights you could just see that was going to happen, couldn't you?
On by Stevenson. Here's Sutton. Dealt with by Kabul.
Well, he's having to plough a lone furrow, really, isn't he, John Sutton? Not got much support. Not the first half, I think Paulo Sergio, I remember with any great fondness.
Sutton. Now Hamill. Managed to find driver. So has Bale. Now Gareth has gone down a bit of a heap here. Thankfully quickly to his feet.
I think Andrew Driver just caught the ankle of Gareth Bale there. As he defended well in his own penalty area. He's running well now.
Rafa van der Vaart after 5 minutes, Jermain Defoe after 13 minutes, Jake Livermore here after 28 minutes. 3 Tottenham goals, unanswered goals in the opening half hour. Cancha on by Livermore, out to Bale. Bale winning the corner from Hamill.
Did well there, Jimmy Hamill. He sent to Gareth Bale down there, the flank. Got his foot in at the right time.
It's Bale's corner. The flick on has come from Kabul. It actually was Robic at the near post who helped it on to Kabul, who then got a little ambitious with the finish.
Yeah, just holds a deep position there. Tries to smash it into the net. Took a little bit less off it, just get it on target. Every chance he would have scored there.
Started for France last week in their warm-up match against Chile. Played alongside Eric Abidal. Philip Mexes is out injured at the moment. Adil Rami suspended for their next qualifier. The ball really going up in the world as a player of international standing. He's found Livermore here. Van der Vaart. No handball. Zalewkas. Stevenson. Well, it's an ambitious effort. It's given the crowd something to get excited about. And Hearts need some stirring.
Yeah, just a bit. This is a decent effort from Ryan Stevenson. It opens up in front of him. He thinks, well, I'll have a crack at it. Quite a way off, no problem for Gomez. Not really much of a goal threat there for Hearts.
And the question for them and for Andy and George at half-time is how good have Spurs been and how bad have Hearts been?
Yeah, a bit of both, actually. But Hearts should have come into this game and really grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. We're never allowed to do so. Tottenham always on the front foot. But they've shown real quality, though, Tottenham, despite being allowed to play by Hearts.
Driver. Seen by Kabul. It's a little intricate between Kabul and Croucher, but so much confidence in Tottenham's play. Black niggling away at Livermore. Look where Van der Vaart's prepared to come in order to prompt play. It makes him so difficult to pick up when he does drift forward. But I think Robic has got to get a hold of Van der Vaart.
Yeah, I think it's, as I said, it's a total rethink at half-time. Got to change the game plan. The formation's not working. Each of the players has got to do more defending, man-to-man. Van der Vaart just ruling the roost.
Paulo Sergio's team are playing in straight lines. There's depth about Tottenham, variety. And they're finding gaps between those Hearts lines. Templeton. Easy enough for Cranchar.
Portions of room.
Here's Templeton though. Chance to run at Walker. Too well to outrun Kyle Walker though. One result from the Europa League already this evening. It concerns Stoke City. We're playing in Thun near Bern in Switzerland, and won by a goal to nil in the first leg of their playoff match. Danny Pugh got that goal. 2-0. Stoke City won. With the progress of Fulham and Birmingham and Rangers and Celtic at half-time here. Spurs have been consummate. Very controlled, very polished. Made the most of the boost of an early goal from Rafael van der Vaart. They've just dominated the match ever since.
They haven't been stretched, Clive, at all, you know, from the first whistle. They've dictated the pace of the game, the bulk of possession, and of course, the goals tally is all theirs.
Van der Vaart, Cranchar again, finding space between defence and midfield. Livermore trying to angle it into Defoe, just a bit too straight, that one. These are the little passes which are finding Hearts out. Lovely movement. Cranchar, now Defoe. Well, he had options there. A little selfish.
Yeah, Van der Vaart was in a nice area as well as Cranchar moved forward.
Gomez mistake. Driver. Sutton. Now Driver. Bit of space for Stevenson. Lifted in towards John Sutton.
Just a lack of quality there, really. Not the same wavelength, Sutton and Stevenson.
Spurs haven't got much in reserve on the substitutes bench this evening. Harry Redknapp's actually named 2 goalkeepers among his 7 substitutes, but I think even at half-time he can start to think about their opening Premier League game against Manchester United and maybe take the heat off 1 or 2 of these players. Might feel as if they need 90 minutes because they had their game against Everton postponed last weekend. Stevenson. It's easy for Walker. Just body checked by Granger. The referee's having none of that. Tells Kyle Walker to get to his feet.
I can't say I agree with that at all. Granger just stood there, ignored the ball, and body checked Kyle Walker there.
Sutton. Black. It's a good ball. Inside Walker for Templeton. Walker recovered quickly. A bit of shirt tugging going on there, maybe by Kyle Walker. 2 speed merchants. Walker's powers of recovery in evidence.
Hearts just don't know how to get forward, unfortunately. Tottenham can put pressure on.
And the slip by Vaart. He's repaired quickly by Kabul. And Vaart to Cranchar. More than enough talent to create space for himself and then seek out Bale. Difficult one to control on the run.
Well, he knows he's in the game, doesn't he, Gareth Bale, when he's got people who can pass the ball like Van der Vaart and Nico Cranchar in midfield. Can always be that threat over the top or wide.
Men against boys. From beginning to end of the first half, Tottenham Hotspur have been in control. One or two Hearts fans around me actually standing to applaud the quality of the football they've seen. Excellent goals from Van der Vaart, Defoe and Livermore, and there could have been more. Tottenham have been outstanding. Half-time at Tynecastle, Hearts 0, Spurs 3.
Well, it's insert your own cliche time at the moment. Men against boys, knife through butter, cat with a mouse. They all apply. Tottenham entirely in command. And 3 up, remember, with the second leg to come at Tottenham next week. All to the players re-emerge. It would take something pretty extraordinary here, George, for Hearts to get something credible for next week, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first thing they've got to do is when Spurs get possession to put them under pressure.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't do that, there's going to be more goals. So they've got to push up, the back four's got to push up, midfield they've got to go and try and mark them in, and then they might have a chance, because if they don't, they'll concede more goals.
More from George and, of course, Andy at full-time, but we're all set for the second half, so let's rejoin Trevor and Clive.
Spurs have been successful in their 2 previous encounters with Scottish clubs in Europe. Went on to reach a European final each time, overcame Rangers in 1962 and Aberdeen in 73. Hearts have never met English opponents in Europe before. Played in the Anglo-Scottish Cup in the late 70s, those of you who remember that vaunted competition. But they've not been in Tottenham's league tonight at any stage. It'll be interesting to see if their approach changes in the second half. No changes to personnel. The Hearts have an early throw-in inside Tottenham territory. I don't know what he's had to say. His English is okay. Templeton's there, just couldn't quite control it. Spurs looking to get back into their rhythm. You wouldn't have been in many dressing rooms 3-0 down at half-time. Trevor, what does a manager say in those circumstances?
Well, probably once or twice in my career I did, but it's very difficult to, to turn it round at that point. I'll be interested to see what tactical difference he does make, because he really has to earn his corn just now. 3-0 down at home.
Granger with a long throw. Sutton holds it up. Here's Templeton. And a corner kick to Hearts. Chance for Paulo Sergio to make a name for himself and win some hearts and minds tonight. Minds probably still troubled by the recent departure of Jim Jeffries. There's a free shy for him and his team. Ruffle a few English feathers. They haven't been able to do it as yet. Well, it's perfectly okay there. The law say that the ball has simply got to overhang the quadrant, doesn't even have to touch the line. Taken by Hamill. Oh, there was half a chance just for a moment for Zalewskis. Might be another opportunity. Headed across the face of goal, and it was Webster who was in there forcing another corner. This is better for Hearts.
Well, it's got the supporters on the feet, and that's a good start. All just kept in play there. The challenge, eventually Michael Dawson clears.
Towards Webster again, and again. Zalewskis had a swing at it. And another corner.
Well, this is what the Hearts supporters want to see. Some pressure on the Tottenham goal. A bit of a scramble there, Webster. Again, it's Dawson.
Hamill at the third time of asking. Gomez just about got fists on the ball. This is Driver. It's just a little isolated. He's managed to squeeze past two of them. Andrew Driver, oh, and a little flick with a near post from Stevenson. And a really heartening spell for Harth and Midlothian to lift the mood inside Tynecastle.
Well, he had to do it himself in the end. Andrew Driver didn't have any options. Poor defending from Spurs' side. I think Gomez would have had that covered, but Ryan Stevenson couldn't make a contact that was going to take it into the back of the net. It's been a fairly simple stop for Gomez otherwise.
That's more like it. Walker. Defoe, on by Livermore. On for Stevenson to chase. Walker under pressure, and Hearts have a free kick for the foul on Sutton by Dawson.
Well, there's an opportunity again to get the ball into the box. Can someone deliver the quality that's required? So Hamill's going to take it. It really is Webster or Sutton that he's going to try and pick out. Maybe Ryan Stevenson, if he can time a run in there, as too.
Both of the centre-backs are in there. It's Hamill. Gomez at full stretch under pressure from Webster. Pulls it away for a corner. Gomez looking for a free kick. Allen's getting a free kick. I don't think his positioning was particularly good. It is a foul.
Yeah, no doubt about the foul. Gomez does look a little bit uncomfortable, scrambling about on his feet there to get back. And a fairly untidy challenge from Andy Webster.
Well, Brad Friedel says he's signed for Tottenham to play first-team football. Gomez appears to have the votes going towards the opening Premier League game of the season. And now he's earning his corn on the night for the first time. Templeton, well seen by Kabul. That's a big challenge. He went through black, yellow card for Yunus Kabul. He got the ball, but if the referee feels that he's shown undue force in getting the ball, he's entitled to do that.
It's one of those challenges that difficult to read really, because the ball's there, the leg is straight, and the studs are there, but he's touching the ball here. There's no doubt about that. Used to see those challenges all the time when I played. Now he's been squeezed out of the game.
Reckless is the definition in the rule book for a yellow card challenge, and that's how Paolo Tagliavento saw that challenge from Yunus Kabul. Gomez looking a little agitated. Looks to me as if the left back Danny Granger might try to test him. It's Granger's free kick, and the Spurs wall did its job. He struck by Hamill at the second time of asking, and struck well wide.
Well, the wall doing its job. Van der Vaart was, he stopped it. But there's things in this second half for Hearts to build on. It's a lot more of the ball, putting pressure on the Spurs defence, really for the first time in the game.
This is what we expected at the start of the night. A fairly full-blooded, wholehearted approach from the home team. Granger seem to be getting the ball from front to back a bit quicker than they were in the opening period, forcing those kind of mistakes. Granger will take the throw. Put away by Walker. And now Spurs have the throw.
I'm pleased with what's happened so far in the second half. not a goal to show for it yet, not a real clear-cut opportunity.
First Edinburgh derby of the season's only 10 days away. He'll learn a thing or two about football in this city when Hearts meet Hibs. Black. Good flick header from Templeton. The ball lost it. Gomez comes for it, but Asuakoto had to knock it to safety.
Yeah, Gomez was just not getting there. Asuakoto does a good job, makes a decision.
Black turned into Asuakoto. Marion Kello here has been a spectator since half-time. Stevenson. Stevenson seen off by Kabul again.
He's trying hard to get into the game, Stevenson. He's showing for the ball. Keen to get involved.
This is Andrew Driver. It's a good ball to Mrovic, just in front of Black, who did have some space. Granger. Do have players of promise on both flanks. The two fullbacks are quite attack-minded, and they have two genuine wingers. And this is almost the first time we've seen them get at Spurs down the sides this evening. Granger will take the throw. Something's on the floor at the moment. Oh, wrestling match there. Goal kick.
He's a strong lad, John Sutton, but certainly found his match there. Walker is prepared to be pushed off the ball.
More to think about. Cranshaw was taking a chance or two there, but he had the skill to get away with it.
Harry not happy with that, taking risks unnecessarily.
Walker trying to take the game back to Hearts. Whistle has gone.
Far more of an edge from Hearts, because putting that bit more effort in to win the ball back, and it's showing. They're getting the rewards for that.
And some of Harry Redknapp's words in the last couple of weeks have rather downgraded the Europa League, but he has sent both Joe Jordan and Clive Allen to watch Hearts since the draw was made. Sutton. Dealt with by Dawson. Bale to Defoe. Spurs just haven't quite got their act together since the break. Not allowed to.
Yeah, the half-time interval can work for you sometimes and work against you at others, and Tottenham certainly haven't come out with the same rhythm that they had in that first half. Tom Huddleston looks like he's going to be introduced.
There are some concerns about Huddleston's ankle, which was badly damaged last November. Caused him to miss more than 5 months of last season. Hamill trying to get the cross in, which Asuakoto blocks. Corner kick.
They've been dangerous from 1 or 2 corners in the second half. Hearts. It's all about delivering. Granger comes across to take this one on the right-hand side.
Trouble for Spurs from an earlier series of corners in this first half. Second half, it was easy enough for Gomez. Livermore. Bale streaking ahead of him there into space. Vaart. Vaart. It's another loose ball inside the Tottenham half. Templeton this time has got away from Dawson. Templeton, oh, terrific recovery by Walker. The pace that he showed there to catch up and dispossess David Templeton.
Yeah, he's a great defender, isn't he, Kyle Walker? Come on, leaps and bounds in the last 12 months. And, suffering a little bit there. This is good work from Templeton. Good feet here. But again, look at that acceleration that Kyle Walker's got in his locker.
Well, Walker's down at the moment. Huddleston is coming off with Van der Vaart. I wonder if Spurs might just wait to see how Walker is. No, there's the answer to that. Rafael's had enough. He himself has missed a bit of pre-season with an ankle problem.
He never quite picked up the pace of the second half, though, did he, Van der Vaart? See who lost the ball there and gave Hearts that chance. Good time to make the change.
Now a little bit of concern for Kyle Walker. Spurs play Manchester United on Monday. Talking to Harry Redknapp prior to the game, he felt that really Huddleston, of the injured players, or partly injured players in Huddleston's case, he's on the bench tonight and now on the field, would be fit for that game on Monday. Not quite sure where Luka Modric will be next Monday, but the likes of Crouch and Pinar and Sandro and Gallas and King and Genus, Palacios, Rose, all out of action at the moment and all unlikely to figure against Manchester United on Monday. Lennon. So much sharper and quicker to the ball in the second half parts.
Yeah, that'll delight Paulo Sergio, that he's had a reaction from his players. Could have been quite easily coming out and not getting the response that he wanted, but he's had that so far.
Interesting, he made no changes in personnel at the break, as if to say to that 11, right, you've got us into this mess, you go and sort it out. Walker, Huddleston, Defoe, and Huddleston's gone on here. Tom Huddleston. Goal kick. He thought the keeper got a touch. I must admit that was my first instinct.
Yeah, probably was. Tom Huddleston will know that. Such an elegant footballer, isn't he, Tom Huddleston? Well, there was the touch, I thought, there from Keller with his left hand. He doesn't strike, not many who strike a ball better than Tom Huddleston.
Spurs giving up possession inside their own half once more. Driver. Granger. It's his driver, just couldn't quite take it in his stride, but retains possession. Zaliukas. Stevenson in game chase. Just managed to catch up with it in order to prevent the ball bouncing out for a goal kick. Stephen Elliott imminent for Hearts. Surviving the dangerous kicking appeals. He seems to be the one who's moved a bit further forward, I think, now. Huddleston. He's got such wonderful control for a big man. He's taken on a bit too much there, though. He's won it back. And now Bale. Gareth Bale. And still Lennon belatedly arriving. It wasn't the best of passes in the end from Bale. Good control from Cranchar. Charged down by Bale. Dawson back to Gomez. Huddleston. No flag here, Bale's onside. Gareth Bale, 4-0. Spurs get back on track with a well-timed run and simple finish from Gareth Bale.
Well, he just
harsh on Hearts.
Yeah, he just felt that Hearts though hadn't scored in that period of play after half-time. We're always going to be punished. And what happens here is they start to play a bit. Tom Huddleston getting on the ball. And look at the run from Gareth Bale, top of the picture. And it's perfectly timed. Not under pressure. There's your perfect first touch, and the second one relatively easy. But the timing of the pass and the incisive run from Gareth Bale. I'm used to seeing that so often in the Barclays Premier League. That's an easy finish.
Goals from Van der Vaart, Defoe and Livermore in the opening half an hour, added to now just after the hour by a fourth from Gareth Bale. Andrew Driver, who was in the England under-21 team a couple of years ago, has had some injury problems since then. Good to see him back in harness for Hearts, but maybe a little bit short of match fitness, and will give way to a player who fans of various English clubs will be familiar with. Stephen Elliott in his second season here at Tynecastle after 7 years south of the border with Manchester City and Sunderland, Wolves, Preston, Norwich. Comes on in his place.
Hearts can't afford to capitulate now, can they? That goal, just when they're at their most confident, we've seen them in the game, that goal comes along and maybe just puncture the confidence that they have.
Elliott's gone up front with Sutton, and Stevenson's come a little wider. Huddleston showed too much of that to Elliott, and now Templeton. Defoe. Livermore to Asuakoto. Spurs seem to have recovered their composure. Huddleston. Bale on the move again. Cut out by Zaliukas. Foul by Kranjčar on Robiec.
It's a critical period of the game. Hearts need to get their act together again pretty quickly. Don't lose confidence. Try and get up the other end, try to hurt Spurs.
Bale managed to get back and make a challenge. And Asuakoto calmly into the path of Kranjčar. He's fouled there by Black. Spurs only won one of their opening 4 Premier League games last season. Their opening 4 Premier League games of this season: Manchester United, Manchester City, Wolves and Liverpool. Played 4 times in 10 days now. 2 games against Hearts, 2 against the 2 Manchester clubs, neither of whom have European qualifiers to worry about in midweek. Taxing start for a depleted squad. Can't afford to lose any more here.
I'm sure that'll be on Harry Redknapp's mind again. Consulting Joe Jordan.
There's Joe in the spectacles, former Hearts manager. It was his second job in management after he taken Bristol City to promotion, just over 2.5 years in charge here. He split Rangers and Celtic in the 92 title race. He's quite bitter over his sacking, I think, from Harts. He's from the other side of Scotland, from Cleland near Motherwell, North Lanarkshire mining country. He was a Celtic fan as a boy. Livermore. Cranchard. Huddleston loose. Suakoto has got it back. And Suakoto got hurt there by that sprawling challenge from Stevenson, and Spurs will take a timeout so that he can be treated.
No doubt he was caught here on the ankle. It's there. Doesn't look like it's a bad one though. He'll be up on his feet very shortly. In fact, he is.
Spurs have got to match the benefits of getting a little bit more match fitness into the legs of players who missed out last weekend, and keeping them clear of any further injuries.
Yeah, that's one of the big problems, isn't it? The injury count. And also on the playing side, the more tired you get in a game, your quality level goes down, and that's a challenge for Spurs to keep that quality that we saw in the first half. Try and repeat it in the second half through the 90 minutes.
Tottenham substitution is going to be made. Gareth Bale is coming off, and Andros Townsend will replace him, not Andy Townsend. Andros Townsend's got a bit more pace about him. Making bet your life that Bale will be on duty at Old Trafford on Monday. He's got a visit to Wembley with Wales coming up very soon. And Townsend, who has been linked with Nottingham Forest and Leicester in the last week or so with a possible loan deal, has got a chance perhaps to stake a claim to a part in Tottenham's immediate plans. He impressed in his one Spurs appearance last season in an FA Cup tie against Charlton at the turn of the year, in which he scored. He's played for England up to under-19 level. Year-old Andros Townsend, number 31, play from this left-hand side.
It's a good time to come on as well, isn't it? 4-0 up. The team's having plenty of possession. For attacking forward like Townsend, good opportunity to do something special here.
Walker getting buffeted. He's very much a part of Fabio Capello's squad now, Carl Walker. Really has grown up in that season away from the club at Queen's Park Rangers and then Aston Villa. It's like he's going to be Spurs' regular right back this season.
Yeah, he was a standout in the European Championships as well. Really one of the best performers that England had. And quickly elevated into the full squad.
Kabul is forward here, along with Huddleston. Cranchard takes towards Defoe. Interesting clearance from Granger. Run back by Nico Cranchard. Townsend will have a swipe. And a bit of a shinner from Andros Townsend, who is a scorer of spectacular goals.
Just snatched at it there, a little bit excited. To get it on the half volley. His timing was out.
Fans' favourite Rudy Scatchell is imminent. Stevenson, Templeton, this is Elliott, Stevenson, deflected, and Gomez able to adjust.
Yeah, the sting was just taken out the shot by the deflection. Gomez comfortable with the save.
Pass in by Granger. Walker losing his footing. Granger with the throw. Away by Walker. It's a bit of a loopy long throw.
Yeah, it's not really looked a threat, has it, all evening? The long throws from Hearts.
Here's Black. All the way through for Templeton. Cruncher. That's a big tackle by Granger. Dumping Cruncher on the seat of his pants right in front of Harry Redknapp.
Michael Cruncher knew that was coming, just got his feet off the ground in time.
Well, it's John Sutton who gives way to Rudy Sketchel, the Czech player in his second spell with Hearts. It was George Burley who signed him for the club 6 years ago. He followed George to Southampton for a spell. Returned a year ago and was top scorer again last season. He's 32 though now, Rudy. George had about 4 or 5 months in charge, so mainly victories. The Spurs are picking up 1 or 2 injuries here now. Cranchar's down as Townsend attacks. Turned behind by Granger. Raised eyebrows of Cranchar. I think they feel that 1 or 2 of these challenges are almost unnecessary in the circumstances.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. 1 or 2 reckless and rash challenges coming in from the Hearts players.
Cranchar. Deep towards Dawson. Defoe was penalised for some pushing and shoving. More live football on ITV next week from the Champions League playoff round. Arsenal with a 1-goal lead to take to Northern Italy against Udinese. We start at 7:30 on ITV1 and ITV1 HD. Well, this is worrying now for Tottenham.
Well, it's a 50-50 challenge there with Ryan Stevenson as the ball came kicked up the field from Kello. Stevenson just a little bit late on Kabul. Mid-air challenge, and the falls kind of awkwardly as well.
Kabul's way off the ground when Stevenson made contact with him. Hearts haven't had the best of disciplinary records in recent years, it has to be said. Picked up a big fine from the SFA last season. Black finds Elliott. Gomez smartly down at the expense of a corner.
A decent strike from Stephen Elliott. It's one that Gomez again should deal with pretty comfortably. And to be fair, he doesn't really.
Tottenham goalkeeper will remain a debate. Hamill's corner. Good defending on the edge of the penalty area by Livermore. Townsend emerges. Now Defoe, and now Hearts are stretched. Lennon waits in the centre. Here's Aaron Lennon, fabulous goal. Classic breakaway goal for Tottenham Hotspur. They lead 5-0 at Tynecastle. One end of the field to the other in the blink of an eye. Defoe to Lennon, and it was all over.
Well, I think that's Spurs at their best, when they can break like that into space. Very, very quick. Lennon quickly there, through to Townsend. This is the ball that really makes it. And Defoe's got the pace to accelerate in there, but look at Aaron Lennon, top of picture. Makes up the ground. Can't be caught there by Granger. It's just that difference of athletic ability, really, between the players in the white shirts of Tottenham and the maroon of Hearts.
So Aaron Lennon had his name to the list of goal scorers. Jermain Defoe, who created it, gives way to Roman Pavlyuchenko for the closing minutes. Van der Vaart, Defoe, Livermore, Bale and Lennon, the Spurs scorers.
Oh, a hugely positive night for Harry Redknapp and Spurs. They couldn't have foreseen that there'd be 10-12 minutes left in the game, 5 goals to the good, and really have looked the part.
Those Hearts fans couldn't have foreseen it either. The way the Europa League works, 38 teams will emerge from this playoff round. They'll join the 10 losers from the Champions League playoff round, 48. 12 groups of 4 then through to the turn of the year. Top 2 in each of those groups will go through. It's 24 clubs. They'll be joined by 8 more Champions League dropouts. And we'll have the 32 for the knockout rounds in the new year. The finals in Bucharest next year, 9th of May. Spurs and Hearts currently 16 games away from getting there. Fulham have won 3-0 tonight. Stoke have won 1-0. Townsend with the grasping cross for Spurs, who lead 5-0.
It's a couple of decent crosses that Townsend has put in, as well as that ball through to Defoe for that 5th goal. He's got a turn of pace, managed to get the cross away early, and that's absolutely perfect delivery in there for a forward. Not read by Pavlyuchenko though.
Going to see a comeback for David Obua, the Ugandan striker, who's not played under Paulo Sergio so far because of a hamstring problem. Rather wry smile for a centre forward being asked to come on at 5-0 down. Thanks, boss. You want to have a look at me, dear? Okay. Here's Hull. Stevenson. Spurs throw. Roy coming on in place of the Pole Rovic. Started the first 3 games of the season under Jim Jeffries. Scored at Ibrox. Ugandan, who made his name in South Africa with the Kaizer Chiefs club in Soweto. Over 16,000 inside Tynecastle. It is a full house for European football tonight. Hearts have been granted an increased allocation of 2,500 for the second leg next week, which you'll also see on ITV4. So there might be 1 or 2 unfamiliar names in Harry Redknapp's team next Thursday at White Hart Lane. We might just see Andy Townsend.
Indeed. It's worked out well for him though, hasn't it? I mean, this is a tie absolutely secured and in the bag, and he can decide how he wants to progress things next week. No problem at all.
Tynecastle that was rocking with noise at the start of the night. Peaceful backdrop to the closing stages of the game. It's Pavlyuchenko trying to make his mark. There's a feeling there'll be 1 or 2 outgoings from White Hart Lane before the transfer window is open. Pavlyuchenko may be one of those. No more news on the imminent arrival of Emmanuel Adebayor tonight, but Harry Redknapp has made it very, very plain that he wants to do some business before September the 1st. Pavlyuchenko wasn't watching, but he still won the ball and lost out to Webster. It's Townsend. It's worth a go.
Yeah, a busy little player, Townsend. Prepared to have a go on his right there as well. Generally a left-footed player. Got a little bit lucky here, I have to say. But certainly happy to give it a go.
Scatchel. That's what he can do. Now Hamill. He ran a long way with the ball and eventually ran into traffic.
I had to release it earlier. Hamill, it was a pass on inside. It's a bit of tiredness maybe now.
Crunch-up. Showed a lot of that to Webster, who came crashing in, but it's fallen for Huddleston. Townsend. Pavlyuchenko, away by Webster. Stevenson straight to Huddleston. Pavlyuchenko. Joining the closing stages of this match. It was all but decided in the opening half hour, by which time Spurs were 3 up. Crunch up. Led away by Zaliukas. But their football in that opening half hour was breathtaking. Have another free kick here. Granger just struck the ball out. Walker there. The yellow card is for the foul rather than for the reaction. And now there's a yellow card, not only for Templeton but for Granger too.
Well, it goes from bad to worse, doesn't it, for Hearts? 2 yellow cards right towards the end of the game. And Tottenham totally dictating play now, as they have done for the majority of the game. But as you said, Clive, that first half, getting the early goal was important, but the play that they produced was a delight to watch. Quick, accurate and incisive.
Crunchard takes, and so too does Kello. Granger got the second yellow card for kicking the ball at the prostrate Walker. Skillfully done by Asuakoto. Foul by Stevenson. We'll see what Hearts think about it. Scatchel making clear motions that Asuakoto dived. It was just a little grab at the shirt.
Don't think Ryan Stevenson can complain. No, Scatchel did. He didn't see the hand on the shirt. But good play again from Akoto.
I think if he had the power just to bring this to a conclusion now, that might not be the best, might not be the bad thing all around, really. The scoreline is hurting Hearts, you can see that. 1 or 2 of their players are reacting to it, to their frustrations. And after that bright start to the second half by the home team, you can only really see one team adding to the tally of goals for the night. And 5 will do Spurs very nicely.
Yeah, they just needed to nab a goal really in the early stages of the second half, and I might have seen a better 45 minutes from them. But Tottenham were always in control, scored goals at the right time as well.
Scatchel to Granger. Stopped by Walker. Templeton. Hasn't really had a chance to shine tonight, David Templeton. And by Dawson. Deadly hush descended over Borgie. Stevenson. Ooh, that was more like it. Allowed to shoot, and it wasn't very far away from Ryan Stevenson.
One of the best efforts of the night from any Hearts player, to be honest. Tottenham just switching off a little bit, giving Ryan Stevenson a little bit more room than he's been used to tonight. Gomez again probably had that covered, hadn't been on target.
His expression hasn't really changed since the break.
I think he knows it. The golfing quality is enormous. He's got to get on with the job in hand.
Will be erected at the Club Street, which means Tottenham fans should turn left when they exit the stadium and head towards Moneyfield. Hearts fans exit towards Golden Roads.
Minutes under Andy Webster's belt. Will feel good for him. Here's a ball. Elliott. Stevenson. Hammond.
Fourth official has indicated 3 minutes of
3 added minutes on the way.
3 minutes to play.
Livermore. No foul. Scatchel looking for Elliott. Gomez out to claim.
Well, I think Paulo Sergio has learnt a lot about some of his players. He's had the opportunity to bring Scatchel on and Stephen Elliott. We've not seen much of them so far. And they'll be deciding of today's match and what he's seen so far, what is going to be his best 11 going forward. I don't really think the best 11 started tonight in the squad that's available to him.
Do you feel that it should be the third best team in Scotland?
Well, they're definitely the third biggest club, and the problem that they've had is this big changeover of management so many times. But the club's been going in one direction, then changing, going in another. But they did have a good season, almost threw it away last year. Just held on to that third spot, but you can see that there is a big gulf.
Carl Walker's been in the wars tonight, but he's still out there. 4 points from their opening 4 SPL games. It's going to be the immediate priority for Paulo Sergio to get Hearts up the table.
Well, something like this is certainly not good for confidence, is it? So, he'll have his work cut out in the next few days.
Cruncher. Huddleston. Lennon on the moves, got beyond Granger. Aaron Lennon. Nico Cruncher. Lennon wants more. He's lost a little bit of its earlier zest. Pavlyuchenko. Townsend. Cruncher.
touch of overplay from Spurs there. But again, we saw the cutting pass from Tom Huddleston and the outstanding pace of Aaron Lennon. And Hearts just can't deal with that.
Two Premier League fullbacks watching warily those balls played inside for Bale and Lennon to race onto. Huddleston has the finesse to deliver them. Spurs have really delivered tonight. Rick Rusty, not a bit of it. They're out of the traps early, scored 3 times in the opening half hour. Had not only the game but also the tie effectively won by then. Vaart, Defoe and Livermore in that early period. Bale and Lennon added second half goals. Harry Redknapp's team looks a cut above their Scottish opponents this evening. Final score at Tynecastle, Heart of Midlothian 0, Tottenham Hotspur 5.
Yep, Tottenham too good, far too good. 5 goals too good on the night, and of course more than 1 foot in the group stage as a result, with the second leg to come with us next week. Tottenham impressive, Hearts look like a team in transition, which of course they almost always are.